Hi, I'm Rowena and this is my camera shy husband Kirk, and this is my channel, A Fuller World. We've spent the last month travelling around New Zealand in our camper van Vandolph for our honeymoon, and we've had such an amazing time we wanted to share it. So without further ado, here's our New Zealand series, Honeymoon New Zealand. So after Hobbiton, we drove about an hour south down towards Rotorua, which is where we're basing ourselves for the next couple of nights. And we found this beautiful camp spot out near the Blue Lake, just on the fringes of town, which just feels like we're in this little slice of like Canadian Lake District wilderness or something. It's absolutely gorgeous. But we have a couple of things planned for Rotorua, so I'm really looking forward to our few days stay here. So Rotorua is really famous for smelling a little bit like rotten eggs, but the reason it smells a little bit like that is because it's built on this geothermal mass. So there's all these geothermal pools and parks around the area, which basically have a lot of sort of sulfur and different minerals in them, and give off that smell. So we're going to start the day by seeing one of these beautiful geothermal parks. We've come to the puia, hopefully I'm saying that right, geothermal park, and we're going to have a little bit of a look around. So the first place they've taken us to in the complex is actually a little kiwi conservation site. So they have a kiwi breeding program here, and as you can see behind me, they've got some screens up where they can see the kiwis' activity. So kiwis are traditionally nocturnal animals. So when we go in there, they've reversed the cycle so that we can see them in these dark rooms. Obviously, I'm not going to film them. I'm not going to disrupt their wanderings and their sort of sleep patterns. But it's really cool seeing them. They're such gorgeous little creatures, and we learned some really cool things about them, like on the tip of their beak they have a little vibration sensor, which is how they basically find their food and their prey. And the other interesting one that I really liked was that when they're actually born, they're actually hatched with their fully formed like adult feathers, so they don't sort of have little downy feathers and then grow more robust ones. They're grown completely with the feathers that they'll have throughout their whole lives. So we've come at a good time. The main geyser, the Bohutu geyser, is erupting behind me, and it erupts generally once an hour, and it can erupt lasting up to about 10 minutes and at about 25 metres high, which is really cool. So part of the ticket coming in, as well as seeing the geyser and the geothermal area, is that we get to see a little bit of the Maori culture as well. So they've taken us back and shown us some of the examples of the wood carving, the bone carving and the basket weaving as well. And they actually have schools here, which is a really cool thing. So part of your ticket entry is actually paying for students' tuition to learn those traditional techniques, and what they can do and the work that they put into their craft is just beautiful. There's a big long traditional boat along here behind me, and they're still using those traditional means to wood carve and make these kind of things, which is just amazing. You're doing the drive.
Have a little lap edge around the training paddock just so you get your bearings on the...
No problems.
So after you put your seatbelt on, start.
So as you can see, we've come up to a place called Adventure Playground, and the first activity we're doing is a little bit of 4x4 buggying through the farm.
Seatbelt on? Nope.
This is so fun. Well worth the trip. This is so fun. I think Kirk's enjoying himself. Buffing me around, getting me wet, trying to get me muddy. Off we go. I'm a bit slow. Ooh. So now that we're done with the buggies, we're actually going to do a second activity, which is they're taking us back up to do some clay shooting. Kirk's done a little bit of this before, although it's been a long time, but I have never done any sort of clay shooting or anything like this, so I think this will be very interesting. I don't expect to be very good at it, but I think it's going to be fun.
There is going to be a little bit, so you want to have that gun nice and tight into your shoulder. The tighter it is, the less recoil there is, alright? Okay. You want your cheek to go down now. Your cheek. There it is.
Sorry.
Looking down that rail to that front sight there, okay? You kind of want to make all of this here disappear and just be able to see that front sight.
Okay.
When you're ready for a target, you say pull, and I'm going to send you that straight one.
Alright, pull.
How was that?
That was not too bad actually.
Nice. Alright, now we know what we're in for.
Deal with that.
We'll go there again.
Okay. Pull.
Nice. Pull. Nice. Pull. Under it.
So we're all done with the buggies, all done with the clay shooting, both of which were so fun. I would absolutely recommend. The clay shooting, of course, Kirk was a natural. He hit like 20 out of 25 shots or something, and I think I hit 2 or 3 and clipped another couple. So I guess maybe 4 or 5 out of 20 with a couple of cheats in there. But the weather's kind of taken a bit of a turn now. You can probably see it's started to get a bit chilly and it's started to rain. So we're just going to call it a night from here. We've still got a little bit more planned for Rotorua, so hopefully the weather starts to clear up a little bit. But for now, yeah, we'll call it a night and we'll see you back in the morning. Right, so the last thing we have planned for Rotorua is we've come up to the redwood tree forest, and they have a little course here that's suspended through the forest, so we're going to walk and sort of explore what it all looks like. So we've learned that this is quite a young redwood forest. So the tallest tree here gets up to about 72 metres and about 2 metres in diameter, which is still quite big, but redwoods can get much bigger than this. Climbing higher. So far this walk is actually just really nice. It's really peaceful up here. I wouldn't do it if you're too nervy with heights though, because there are all suspension bridges, so they do kind of jump around a little bit. But it's actually, it's really well set up. It's really, really nice little walk. So you might have also noticed that there's some little lanterns hanging in the trees, and that's because if you come back at night, there's something special that's going to happen. I know the camera's not doing this justice, but this is just so gorgeous. It's really, really cool. Well, it is fresh out tonight. It is getting down to about -2 degrees, so that was a bit of a chilly walk. You can see I'm all rugged up, but man, what a different vibe at night. That is so worth going back to. I know the camera just doesn't capture it properly, but first you sort of walk through all these sort of sparkling lights, and then there's all the lanterns, and if you go up to the 12-metre height, all the rope bridges are lit up, and it's just sort of ethereal. It's kind of got this sense of fairy and wonder about it, and it's just so worth walking through. It is getting pretty late though, so I think that calls our time on Rotorua, and I'm so glad we ended it that way. But we've got obviously many more adventures to come. Got a bit of a drive in the morning, so we'll catch you bright and early.